All right, guys, here we go. We are going into the last week of July here on Kentucky Lake, and I'm going to fill you in on what's been going on out here the last couple of weeks. Fishing is starting to get to be a little bit of a struggle out here, just to be honest with you. It's late summer. It's kind of what's to be expected out here when it gets this hot. We've had some crazy hot days here lately, and the fish know it, and it's just like you want to get up, suck up in the air conditioner and not really get out and do a whole lot if you don't have to in this kind of heat. And the fish seem to be a lot of the same this time of year. And if you follow my reports over the last few years, you know that kind of that mid-July is kind of that turning point of when things start to really change out here on Kentucky Lake. And what happens is the bait will really start showing up about the first or second week of July in just clouds out on the main lake. And when that happens, it's usually the first indication that those fish are going to start scattering, and it's going to be hard to find schools of fish. So that being said, you're going to have to just grind it out, pick it apart. A lot of different things to fish this time of year. A lot of guys like to come out here and fish offshore, fish ledges. Just know that whenever you're out there looking, that a lot of those schools have been busted up, not only from the shad, and they're chasing that shad around, but this time of year they've had the crap beat out of them all summer long, and fishing pressure just starts to get to it. Not pulling much water temperatures, it's already close to 90 degrees, if not hotter. I don't get out here in the afternoons to see exactly what the water temp is, but it's hot. I know that. Air temperature's hot. We're looking at heat indexes here going into the last week of July. It looks like probably 110, 150, just crazy high heat index temps, feels like temps outside. So you guys that want to fish offshore, the big worm's still working, the jig, just touch on just a few baits. Not a lot's changed as far as baits this time of year. This is the ridge worm from 6 cents that I throw. One color, that's the Plum Dawn color. Plum, any of the blue fleck colors are great colors. Texas rig. I've had a couple of surprisingly good mornings the last week or so out here. Caught a lot of big ones and caught some numbers, but that's kind of one of those special things that happens once in a while out here this late in the summer. And then of course the Dirty Jigs tackle. This is their casting jig. And when I'm fishing offshore and I don't have a lot of structure around, I'll cut that weed guard off and put that 6 cents trailer on the back of it. A lot of cool trailers. They've actually come out with a couple different new sizes in the bodega. It's a cool little jig trailer too. As well as the drop shot, the drop shot with the glitch on the back of it. You guys know that I throw that like crazy out here. Fish are going to start getting in brush too. So I've caught a few fish out of brush piles. You're going to want to rig your drop shot a little bit different than that nose hook. Rig it on a rebarb hook to where you can Texas rig it to where it don't get hung up near as much. But this time of year, fish start to get, people think they go deep in this super hot weather, but they don't. They actually come up shallow. So you ledge guys, they're going to start getting up on top of the stuff. So where you've been finding schools of fish in 15, 16, 17 foot of water, start looking up on top of that stuff in 10 foot of water. So a lot of the better bites that I've been catching have been around some sort of structure, some sort of wood. There's oxygen in the water. Bait finds the structure that's in the water. Therefore, the fish are going to be close by. So you guys that want to run around up shallow, if you get out here early enough, there's still a good mayfly hatch going on. Once in a while, there's some mayflies. A lot of shad up shallow right now. You can run docks, you can run gravel points, throw a catwalk or something, some kind of walking style bait up shallow, and then a swim jig. This is the Dirty Jig swim jig here that I throw a lot with a little 3.2 Divine swim bait on the back of it. Toss that up around docks, up around shallow cover, whatever you want to fish. But and then the slice blade bait for offshore. We call it a meat bait for a reason. It catches everything. Big cats, white bass. This time of year it's going to start getting tough. The largemouth and smallmouth have kind of been beat on, and they're going to start getting a little bit tougher to catch. You can take that slice blade bait, meat bait, and get out there and just kind of wind it around or get around those big balls of shad, and you're going to catch something. You're going to catch a catfish. You're going to catch a bass or a lot of white bass starting to school up out there. I don't chase them a whole lot unless I have to, but for the most part, the bite's going to be tough for a little while. You guys know that if you followed along the last few years. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to tell you it's good when it's not good. The bite is going to be tough. It's hot out here. The fish are really scattered out. There's not any schools to speak of. I'm not saying you can't scan around on your electronics and find some fish offshore, you can, but you're going to have to kind of go more, do more fishing than you are, you know, scanning around and finding schools of fish. So that all being said, just expect a tough bite overall. It's July. It's gonna taper on into August and more of the same in August. I'll touch base again probably about the middle of August and let you know kind of what I found and what's going on out there. But don't forget the Deep Dive app on your phone. This time of year when fishing really gets tough, put those conditions in. Put those you know, those water temps and those water clarity colors, you know, whatever the water clarity is doing. You know, if you're on a lake where it's muddy or you're on a lake where it's clean, that Deep Dive app, you plug that stuff in and you would be surprised at how accurate it is. And I rely on it a ton out here this time of year, especially for, you know, clients that are coming in that may reach out that aren't necessarily doing a trip, but they're looking for some info. That is a great place to start, is that Deep Dive app. It really teaches you a lot and shows you exactly what to do out here. But make sure if you're in the area, it's that time of year, school's getting ready to start back, but come by, check us out at Sonar Solutions at our rigging shop there. We're a full install center, retail shop. We do Lowrance, Garmin, and Humminbird electronics there, rigging all that stuff out. And the guys at Kentucky Lake Outdoors have their new location open. I think I touched on that last time. They just recently received a big order of 6 Sense fishing product. So any of the stuff that you see that I talk about here from 6, you can pick that up locally here at Kentucky Lake Outdoors, or visit 6sensefishing.com and make sure you use that code BHFishing10 at checkout there. Save you a little bit of money. If you're looking for a trip over the rest of the summer or into fall, I'm starting to book into the fall. Check out my website, BrandonHunterFishing.com. Shoot me an email there. There's a contact tab there, and I will see you guys on the water.